want to confirm the correct answers. Okay, like question number 1. What was the answer of the first part? I hope that you are ready with the sheets also. Question number 3. A mixture of 126. 24 liter, correct. And question number 4. If 3A to 4B,
4:3:2.
absolutely correct. Okay. Question number 5. What is the answer you are getting? Find the
2/3.
Sir,
2 root 2.
no, sir. Sir, 2√2 is 3.
Absolutely correct. And question number 6.
Sir, 27:20.
27.20.
Yes, absolutely correct. And 7th, find the triplicate ratio.
27 and
27
8 and cube.
Correct. Absolutely correct. 27 m cube is to 8 m cube. And question number 8, find the subduplicate ratio.
X minus y is to x plus y whole square.
X.
Whole cube.
Correct.
Yes.
X minus y whole square is 2x plus y whole cube. And then question number 9, which I have given you.
X is to 5y.
X is to 5y. This was in fact the easiest one. Then question number 10 was the proving one. I told you that 10th and 12th are the same sum. They are the proving part. Now question number 11. What is the ratio?
3:2.
3:2. Absolutely. You will not take the negative value. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You will take the positive value. Okay. Now.
So 3:2.
3:2. Absolutely correct. Then coming to question number 14. If 3x plus 5y, what was the answer of this?
Sir, 8:3 and 2:3.
2:8.
Absolutely correct. Whoever say 8:3 or 2:3. Absolutely correct. Then question number 15, what was the answer?
So 31:1:13.
31
Absolutely correct.
to
Very
13.
good. I have given you the hint also in this. So 31:1:13 is the correct answer. Then question number 16.
1:2.
Absolutely correct. Very good. Very good, boys. 9:5 or 1:2. And question number 17.
48
centimeter, 28
21.
centimeter, 21 centimeter.
Absolutely correct. Very good. Question number 18.
3:2 or
3:2, so 2:3.
3:2 or 2:3.
Very good. Question number 19.
So 3:2.
3:2.
Absolutely correct. And question number 20.
So 6.
6. Yes. So most of the boys have done the assignment correctly. And congratulations, boys. Very good. You are making very good effort. And I hope that if you proceed like this, you will definitely score 100%. Okay. And keeping this expectation in the mind, let us proceed with the continuation of this part. And in the previous case, I have taught that ratio. And some boys have got the queries, like I have sent the this information on the WhatsApp groups also, that ratio is not included, but still, sir, you have taught. So I just want to say, boys, that because it is in the syllabus part, actually, it is mentioned only proportion, but at the time of setting the question paper, I have seen it is not once council people, they forget that what was given in the syllabus book, when they only think about the name of the topic. That's why I have taken the proportion also. Okay. Now let us start with the proportion part. 1 minute. Animesh, yes. Sir, please explain last one. I was facing the problem in time and work problem. Okay, that I will send. Don't worry, Animesh. Okay. Okay. Now, talking about the proportion. Proportion, when any two ratios are equal, they form proportion. You have studied in the previous classes also that when any two ratios are equal, they form proportion. Like, for example, okay, if A is to B is equal to C is to D, then A, B, C, D are said to be in proportion, or they are proportional. Over here, A and D are called extremes and B and C are called means. And you can write it as A is to B or is equal to C is to D, or A upon B is equal to C upon D. If you find the product AD is equal to BC, cross multiplication, you will get the product as A into D is equal to B into C. That is product of extremes is equal to product of means. Okay, you have read this in the previous classes, 7th, 8th, 6th. Okay, so you are already aware. And over here, you have to remember that D is called the fourth proportional. A upon B is equal to C upon D. That means D is called the fourth proportional. Okay. Now, about the continued proportion. Let us talk about the continued proportion. Three or more quantities are said to be in continued proportion when the ratio of the first and the second is equal to the ratio of the second and the third. Means when the ratio of the first and second means the antecedent and consequent of the first ratio is equal to the ratio of the second and third is equal to the antecedent upon consequent of the second ratio. Like I have given you one example also, that if three quantities are ABC and they are in continued proportion, it means A upon B is going to B upon C. Means like A is the antecedent, B is the antecedent of the second. BCD, then A upon B will be equal to B upon C is equal to C upon D. Means the consequent of the first will become the antecedent of the second, consequent of the second will become the antecedent of the third. Okay. Am I audible to everybody, boys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, if ABC are in continued proportion, like I have taken
Can
the
you
first.
please explain again, sir? I have not understood it.
Okay, who is this, by the way?
Sir, Rachit.
Okay. Like boy, I am telling you, if it is written that ABC are suppose the three quantities in proportion, continued proportion. Okay. If ABC are in continued proportion, it means A upon B means the ratio of the first two terms. Okay, like that is A is the antecedent, B is the consequent, is equal to B upon C. Means the consequent of the first ratio will become the antecedent of the second ratio. Okay, and C is already the third quantity, so it will become the consequent. Okay, have you understood now?
Yes, sir.
And in case if A, B, C, D are in continued proportion, then you can write A upon B is equal to B upon C is equal to C upon D and so on. Okay. Now, in case if I take the first part, A upon B is equal to B upon C, suppose A, B, C are in continued proportion. Okay. Then we can write A upon B is equal to B upon C. And when you will do the cross multiplication, you will get B square is equal to AC. And over here, B is called the mean proportional, okay, between A and C. Because when you will do the cross multiplication, you will get B square is equal to AC. And what is B called over here? B is called mean proportional. You have studied in class 8 also and in class 7th also. And C is called the third proportional. Okay. That means you have studied that D is the term called fourth proportional, B is called the mean proportional, and C is the third proportional. Okay. Now, whatever you have studied till now, you have already done in the previous classes. Now, what you are going to study just now, they are very important and they can be used. I'm talking about the properties of proportion. Okay. The first property, it is known as invertendo. Okay. Remember, these properties of proportion are applicable because I'm talking about the properties of proportion. And in most of the cases, I've seen that the boys are doing the mistake that in case if any ratio is written, then also they are applying these properties. So always remember they are not applicable in only one ratio. If any two ratios are equal, then only these properties are applicable, otherwise not. So very, very clear. Okay. If any two ratios are equal, that means they are in proportion, then only these properties are applicable. Let us discuss about the first property, that is invertendo. If A upon B is equal to C upon D, means A, B, C, D are in proportion. Then if A upon B is equal to C upon D, by the name only it is clear. Invertendo means we have to take the inverse, means we have to reciprocate the terms. That is A upon B, the position of B and A will be interchanged and position of C and D will be interchanged, means you are taking the reciprocal. So by invertendo, you will get B upon A is equal to D upon C. I have just taken the reciprocal. Okay. Second case, the property is known as alternando. Over here, we will interchange the position of alternate element. Okay, alternate elements like A upon B is equal to C upon D, and the product remains unaltered. Like in the first case, also in invertendo, the product of A upon B is equal to C upon D. Like AD is equal to BC. If by invertendo, whatever result, it is still unaltered. AD is equal to BC. Similarly, in case of alternando, I'm just going to interchange the position of B and C. It will not affect the result. By alternando, A upon C is unaffected, that is AD. Then talking about componendo. In componendo, if A upon B is equal to C, and if we 1 to both the sides, like of the above equation, because equal to sign is there, so it is an equation also. Okay, so if I add 1 to both the side, it will not make any difference, and whatever result is obtained is called componendo. Like A plus B upon B is equal to C plus D upon D. So in case if A upon B is equal to C upon D, by componendo you can directly write A plus B upon B is equal to C plus D upon D. I have given this result as the equation number 1 because I am going to make use of it further. Then case number 4 about the property dividendo. If A upon B is equal to C upon D, like in componendo, I have added 1. In dividendo, I will subtract 1 from both the sides of this equation. So A upon B minus 1 is equal to C upon D minus 1. It will not make any difference because if you add or subtract the same quantity of any in any equation, okay, it doesn't make any difference to the given equation. So when you will solve, you will get then by dividendo A minus B upon B is equal to C minus D upon D. Okay, but componendo and dividendo, all remember that individually these properties are hardly used. They are not used hardly, but the combination, which is componendo and dividendo, okay, componendo and dividendo, this is the most important property and you should remember because this property is used everywhere. Okay, like if A upon B is equal to C upon D, like I told you by componendo, what can you write? A plus B upon B is equal to C plus D upon D. And by dividendo, what can you write? This ratio, this proportion, sorry, A minus B upon B is equal to C minus D upon D. If I divide first equation by the second equation, okay, then B and B will be cancelled in the left hand part and D and D will be cancelled on the right hand side part, and you will get the final result as A plus B by componendo and dividendo. You will get the final result as A plus B upon A minus B is equal to C plus D upon C minus D. Boys, I just want to tell you that you can remember like this, that in case if A upon B is equal to C upon D, okay, if A upon B is equal to C upon D, then A and B, suppose numerator and denominator. So in the left hand side, it is numerator plus denominator, that is A plus B upon numerator minus denominator, that is A minus B. And similarly on the right hand side part also, numerator plus denominator, that is C plus D upon numerator minus denominator, that is C minus D. So you can remember this, and componendo and dividendo is applicable only in the case of proportion, not only in a single ratio. Don't forget, again I am repeating the word, that it is not applicable. Like if only A upon B is written in the, any terms are written in the form of A upon B, then we can write A, suppose we are writing by componendo and dividendo A plus B upon A minus B, that is absolutely wrong because this property is applicable only in the case of proportion. Okay. Now one more result, convertendo. Convertendo says that if A upon B is equal to C upon D, by convertendo, A upon A minus B is equal to C upon C minus D. Okay, I am giving a span of 1 or 2 minutes. Just let me see that who can prove it. You have the pen and papers, I think. So please, I'm giving you a duration of 1 minute. Just prove it. This is a very simple result, and please show it on the screen. I want to see your lovely faces along with your correct working also. Let me see who are the intelligent ones. So please do it and share the screen with me.
Excuse me, sir.
Convertendo, yes.
Sir, can you please repeat what we have to prove?
Huh? That
Sir,
in
can you-
case, yes, I'm showing you that by convertendo, if I have written the result, if A upon B is equal to C upon D, then by convertendo, A upon A minus B is equal to C upon C minus D. You have to prove this result. That like I have proved for the componendo and dividendo, for componendo, for dividendo, and for componendo and dividendo, how I got the result. I have already shown the proof. You have to show this proof, okay? That by convertendo, you will get A upon A minus B is equal to C upon C minus D. Prove this result if A upon B is equal to C upon D. Okay, let me see that who can solve. Please share the screen, show your faces. Okay. Okay, Lokesh, just show the answer. Show your script on the screen. If you're still trying, then yes, beta. If you not be able, yes. Oh, 1 minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. It's not very clear. Actually, one part is coming dark over here. Just can you read out?
Yes, sir.
What have you done, by the way?
So B upon A is equal to D upon C.
Okay.
So 1 minus B upon A is equal to 1 minus D upon C.
Absolutely correct.
So A minus B upon A is equal to C minus D upon C.
Absolutely correct.
Answer then the reciprocal A
Then
upon
by
A.
invertendo, not reciprocal. You get A upon A minus B is equal to C upon C minus D. Who was this, by the way?
So
Lokesh. Yes, very good, Lokesh. Very good. Okay, very good, beta.
Thank you.
Very nice. I'm very, very happy that the boys are very active. Okay, I'm proud of you boys. Now, let us discuss about. So you have to make use of all these properties anywhere, and you have to mention the name. But remember, among all the 6 properties, componendo and dividendo is widely used. Okay, and sometimes invertendo and alternando also. Okay. Now let us discuss about the K method, where K is the constant. In this method, when quantities are given in the form of proportion, then we equate each ratio as K. Okay, K is the constant. Remember, for example, if A, B, C are in continued proportion, that is A upon B is equal to B upon C. You already know that. I have already explained you what is the meaning of continued proportion. Okay, if A upon B is equal to B upon C, I am assuming the value of both the ratios equal to, suppose, any constant term K. And we can proceed like this because A upon B is equal to B upon C is equal to K. So I am equating the first and the third one, that is A upon B is equal to K, and the second and the third one, third one, that is B upon C is equal to K. So you will get A is equal to BK, and from the second and third result, B is equal to CK. And in case if I want to substitute the value of B in the first result, so A will come in the form of CK square. Okay. So have you understood this properly? Yes, boys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now on the previous turn, boys, if you remember, I told you one result in the ratio. Okay, that in case if many ratios are equal, like A upon B is equal to C upon D is equal to E upon F, then each ratio is equal to the sum of their antecedent, that is A plus C plus E, upon sum of their consequent, that is B plus D plus F. I told you this, And now I'm telling you that I told you that I will tell the proof also in the next class. So see the proof, and with the help of K method, it can be solved very easily. 1 minute. Yes. A upon B is equal to, suppose I am assuming the value of each ratio, A upon B, C upon D, E upon F, the value of all these terms is equal to K. So I'm equating both the terms separately, all the terms separately. A upon B is equal to K, C upon D is equal to K, E upon F is equal to K. So from the first result, we will get A is equal to BK, C is equal to DK, and E is equal to FK. Now, if I take the ratio A plus C plus E upon B plus D plus F. In place of A, I have substituted the value BK. In place of C, I have substituted the value DK. And in place of E, I have written the value FK. So in this numerator part, if you see carefully, K is common. What is left in the bracket? B plus D plus F upon B plus D plus F, and they will be cancelled. And the value of this ratio, that is A plus C plus E upon B plus D plus F, is also equal to what? K. And K was the value of the previous three ratios also. That means each ratio, that E or E upon F, it is equal to the sum of their antecedent, is equal to the ratio comprising of sum of their antecedent upon sum of their consequent. That is A plus C plus E upon B plus D plus F. So remember, this is a very important result, that in case if A upon B is equal to C upon D is equal to E upon F, then each ratio is equal to sum of their antecedent, that is numerators, upon sum of their consequent, that is sum of their denominators, that is B plus D plus F. And when I will tell you the application of this, you will be really feeling very happy. Okay. Now let us discuss few examples based on the above properties of proportion. Okay, like componendo and dividendo or the K method. Now, question number 1: if 4xy upon, if P is equal to 4xy upon x plus y, then using properties of proportion, find the value of P plus 2x upon P minus 2x plus P plus 2y upon P minus 2y. Over here, in any sum, remember boys, that in case if it is written that using properties of proportion, then you have to make use of the properties which I taught you. You can make use of invertendo, alternando, componendo and dividendo, okay, or convertendo, whatever properties you want. But you have to proceed by application. You have to show the application of these properties at least one time. Okay. Otherwise, the sum will be marked wrong. And like I can proceed, if I suppose this word using properties of proportion is not given, I can directly substitute the value of P in this P plus 2x upon P minus 2x and P plus 2y upon P minus 2y. I can directly write the value of P as 4xy upon x plus y, and I can proceed. And I will come to the final result also. Okay. But because over here it is written using properties of proportion, so I have to apply the properties of proportion. Just remember, and don't proceed like that. Now, see the solution, that if P is equal to 4xy upon x plus y, and if you see the first term, P plus 2x upon P minus 2x, how can we get the value of this term? So what I have done, I have splitted the term. 4xy can be written as 2 into 2 into x into y upon x plus y. So I have taken the middle term 2x, okay, in the denominator of the left hand side, that is P upon 2x is equal to 2y upon x plus y. Now, it is in the form of what? A upon B is equal to C upon D. And I told you, by componendo and dividendo, numerator plus denominator upon numerator minus denominator on both the sides. So, by componendo and dividendo, you can write P plus 2x upon P minus 2x. Numerator plus denominator, numerator minus denominator. And similarly, on the right hand side also, I have applied the same rule. Numerator plus denominator, that is 2y plus x plus y upon 2y minus x minus y. So you will get the value of P plus 2x upon P minus 2x as 3y plus x upon y minus x. Now, again we will proceed with for getting the second value, that is P plus 2y upon P minus 2y. I am starting with the initial result. And what was the initial result? P is equal to 2 into 2 into x into y upon x plus y. So over here, I have taken the terms 2 and y in the denominator of the left hand side. So you will get P upon 2y is on the right hand side. What will be left? 2x upon x plus y. So if I apply componendo and dividendo in this proportion, then again you will get P plus 2y upon P minus 2y. That is numerator plus denominator, numerator minus denominator. On both the sides I have applied. That is 2x plus x plus y upon 2x minus x minus y. So you will get the value of P plus 2y upon P minus 2y as 3x plus y upon x minus y. Now we have got the value of both the terms. That is P plus 2x upon P minus 2x and P plus 2y upon P minus 2y. Okay. When you will substitute, you will get 3y plus x upon y minus x plus 3x plus y upon x minus y. If you see carefully, in the second part, in the first part, denominator is y minus x. In the second part, denominator is x minus y. So in order to make the denominator in the similar manner, what I have done, I have taken the minus sign outside x minus y. So it will become y minus x, and that minus with on addition with the plus sign, it will become minus, because plus into minus is minus. So now this y minus x is the common 3y plus x minus 3x plus y, and when you will simplify, you will get the result as 2y 2x plus x. So 2 you can take common, y minus x and y minus x will be cancelled, and finally you will get the value of the result as 2. Have you understood properly, everybody? Yes, boys?
Yes, sir.
Any confusion
Yes,
to
sir.
anybody?
Yes.
So can you show once the sign, changing the sign?
Changing the sign, okay. I'm just showing 3y plus x upon y minus x is equal to 3x plus y upon x minus y. So in the term x minus y, what I have taken? I have taken the minus sign outside the bracket, x minus y. If you take minus sign, then the position of the elements will be changed. That is, if x will come in place of y and y minus x will come y in place of y will come in place of x. Okay, you already know that a minus b can be written as minus times b minus a, or suppose b minus a is written. Okay, b minus a is written, or it can be written, or suppose a minus b is written, it can be written as b minus a. Okay, minus sign outside the bracket, and that minus in addition with the plus sign will make it minus. Okay, this was the change. Okay, similarly over here also I have applied the same rule. Have you understood now? Yes, boys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it is clear to everybody. Now let us proceed with another question, like if x is equal to under root a plus 1 plus under root a minus 1 upon under root a plus 1 minus under root a minus 1, using properties of proportion, show that x square minus 2ax plus 1 equal to 0. Remember, in these type of questions where the terms are already written, so x, we can write x as x upon 1. Okay, and right hand side is the same, and I have assumed under root a plus 1 suppose equal to p, under root a minus 1 as q. So if we apply the then it will take the shape of like x upon 1 is equal to what? P plus q upon p minus q, because p is what? Under root a plus 1 and q is under root a minus 1. Now it is in the form of proportion, so we can apply componendo and dividendo over here, like x plus 1 upon x minus 1, numerator plus denominator, numerator minus denominator. On the other side also, numerator plus denominator, numerator minus denominator. So you will get the result of x, the plus q and minus q will be cancelled, and in the denominator minus p and plus p will be cancelled. So you will get ultimately x plus 1 upon x minus 1 as p upon q. And now let us resubstitute the value of P and Q. So you will get the result x plus 1 upon x minus 1 is equal to under root a plus 1, which was the value of P, which we have assumed in the beginning, and upon under root a minus that is square root sign, doing the squaring both the sides. So when we will do the squaring both the side, from the other side, right hand side, the square root sign will vanish, and in the left hand side, square sign will come. Let us expand this numerator and denominator both by the formula a plus b whole square. You will get x that will remain the same. So by componendo and dividendo, okay, again you can see that these two ratios are in the form of proportion because they are equal. So when it is in the form of proportion, we can apply the componendo and dividendo. So what I have done, I have again applied the componendo and dividendo, that is numerator plus denominator, that is x square plus 1 plus 2x plus x square plus 1 minus 2x, and similarly numerator minus denominator x square plus 1 plus 2x minus x square minus 1 plus 2x, sign will be changed when you will open the bracket. On the right hand side also numerator plus denominator, that is a plus 1 plus a minus 1 upon numerator minus denominator. So when you will cancel all the terms, you will get 2 into x square plus 1 upon 4x is equal to 2a upon 2. 2 and 2 will be cancelled on the right hand side. Similarly, in the left hand side also 2 to the 4. And when you will do the cross multiplication, ultimately you will come to the final result, that is x square minus 2ax plus 1 equal to 0, which you have to prove. Okay. Have you understood properly? Yes, boys?
Yes, sir.
Any confusion? Or yes, dear. Animesh is asking, sir, how can we think such an approach? Okay. So Animesh, in these type of questions, whenever the quantities are written, like x is equal to something on the other side, that means you have to think that x can be written as what? X can be written as x upon 1, means it is a ratio. And on the other side, under root a plus 1 plus under root a minus 1 upon under root a plus 1 minus under root a minus 1. Beta, this is already a ratio. It is in the form of ratios. Means the two ratios are equal. Okay, the two ratios are equal. That is, one is under root x plus 1, x upon 1, the left hand side, and the other ratio is the right hand side, that is under root a plus 1 upon plus under root a minus 1 upon under root a plus 1 minus under root a minus 1. So when any two ratios are equal, then only you can apply componendo and dividendo, because it is already mentioned also in the question that using properties of proportion. So in that way, like I have done, I have applied componendo and dividendo 2 times. You can apply number of times. Okay, if you want, you can apply as number of times as you want for proving the result. I think your doubt is clear now, Animesh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any confusion, beta?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, discussing with one more question. If a upon b plus c is equal to b upon c plus a is equal to c upon a plus b, then prove that each fraction is equal to half or minus 1, and after minus 1 it is written when a plus b plus c equal to 0, means the value of this, all the fractions will be minus 1 when a plus b plus c equal to 0. You have to prove both the results, that each fraction is equal to half or minus 1, but minus 1 under the condition that when a plus b plus c equal to 0. So let us proceed. Over here, because all these terms, all these ratios are equal. Okay, all these ratios are equal. That is, they are written in the form of a upon b is equal to c upon d is equal to e upon f. I told you this property that each ratio will be equal to what? Sum of their antecedent upon sum of their consequent. I told you that this property is very, very important, and over here I am going to implement it also. So see the implementation. that each ratio equal to A plus B plus C, that is sum of their antecedents, upon sum of their consequent, that is B plus C plus C plus A plus B. And when you will solve, you will get in the numerator A plus B plus C, and in the denominator 2 times B plus 2 times A plus 2 times C, 2 you can take common. So A plus B plus C will be cancelled and you will get the result as half. Okay. And this was the case when A plus B plus C was not equal to 0. And now in the second part you have to prove that the value of each ratio is equal to -1 also when A plus B plus C equal to 0. So because they have already given that A plus B plus C equal to 0, that means from this result you can write B plus C is equal to what? -A. Or A plus C you can write it as what? -b. And A plus B can be written as -c. I have just shifted the one term on the right hand side. Now we will make application of these three values. Like the first ratio was what? A upon B plus C. A upon B plus C. So in place of the denominator B plus C, I have written its value, which we have found. Okay, that is -a. So A and -a will be cancelled. You will get the value of the first fraction as -1. Similarly, in the second fraction, B upon C plus A, what is the value of C plus A? I have written -b. So B and B will be cancelled. Result will be -1. And similarly, for the third fraction, C upon A plus B, value of A plus B, which we have already found as -c. Okay, so C and C will be cancelled. Result will be -1. So you are observing that the value of all the fractions is coming as -1. So we have proved for both the results that it is half when A plus B plus C is not equal to 0, and it is equal to -1 when A plus B plus C equal to 0. Have you understood properly? Any confusion to anybody, boys?
Sir,
No, sir.
Yeah?
so in these type of questions, can we find either one or we have to find both, solve the both?
No.
So,
Like in many questions, no. In case if they would have not written that A plus B plus C equal to 0. Okay. Then you have to proceed with only the first part.
okay, sir.
Sometimes in the books also it is not written. Sometimes it is not mentioned in the book. So you can't take the value as A plus B plus C equal to 0. Okay. And that's why I have mentioned also that only when information is given, then only proceed. Don't take anything from your side. Okay. Have you understood properly, Beta?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, coming to one more case, if x upon b minus c is equal to y upon c minus a is equal to z upon a minus b, then prove that ax plus by plus cz equal to 0. Because these three ratios are equal, so I have assumed the value of each ratio equal to k. And if I equate the first and the last, x is equal to k into b minus c. If I equate the second ratio with the last, y is equal to k into c minus a. And the third and the last, I will get the value of z as k into a minus b. Now, I have taken the result that ax plus by plus cz equal to 0, we have to prove. So I have taken the left hand side, ax plus by plus cz. And in place of x, y and z, I have substituted the value which I have got from the above result. That is, a is as usual, and in place of x, what I have written? K into b minus c. And similarly, by, in place of b is already as usual, and in place of y, I have written the value of y. That is k into c minus a. And plus cz, c is already as usual, and in place of z, I have written the value of z as k into a minus b. So over here, in all the three terms, you can see k is common. And when you will take k common, then and you will simplify the other terms, that is ab minus ac plus bc minus ab plus ca minus cb. All the terms inside the bracket will be cancelled and you will get k into 0, and the final result will be 0. That means the value of this term ax plus by plus cz will be 0. And this is the proof. Have you understood properly, boys? That K method is very, very important.
Yes, sir.
Have you all understood properly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, on the basis of this, I'm just giving you an assignment also. Okay. See the assignment part. Like question number 1, and you have to. I've given today. I'm giving you only 12 questions. Okay. But and I will just send the PDF also of this on the Google Classroom as well as on your WhatsApp group also. Okay. So don't worry about it. But just now I'm reading so that there should be no confusion in understanding the alphabets. If A, B, C are in continued proportion. Question number 1. Prove that A square plus B square plus C square upon A plus B plus C whole square is equal to A minus B plus C upon A plus B plus C. Question number 2 is, using properties of proportion, solve for x. X raised to the 4, it is x raised to the 4 plus 1 upon 2x square is equal to 17 upon x. You have to use properties of proportion. That means you have to proceed with componendo and dividendo. Okay. Over here, this is a hint. Then question number 3. Given x cube plus 12x upon 6x square plus 8 equal to y cube plus 27 upon 9y square plus 27, find x is to y. Okay. You can, you have to find the value of x is to y. Anybody can tell me how to proceed? Yes, boys, in this sum? What is coming in your mind? I just want to know.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, we can use componendo and dividendo.
Componendo and dividendo, what in what way you will proceed? Just let me know.
Sir, first I will write x cube plus 12x plus 6x square plus 8 upon
Yes.
x cube plus 12x minus 6x square minus 8 is equal to y
Okay,
cube
okay.
plus 27y plus 9y square plus 27 upon y cube plus 27y minus 9y square minus 27.
And then after that,
And sir, it will come in the form of x cube, x plus 2 whole cube upon x minus 2 whole cube.
absolutely
equal
correct,
to-
because it is x cube plus 2 cube. 2 cube is 8, so numerator will be
Yes,
in the
sir.
form of x plus 2 whole cube, and similarly in the denominator, in the right hand side, it will be y plus 3 whole cube upon y minus 3 whole cube. Okay, and then you can proceed. Okay, very good, beta. Who was this, by the way? Sumit.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very nice, Sumit. Very good. Boys are so alert. Very nice to see. Okay, now question number 4. Question number 4 is, using properties of proportion, solve for x. 3x plus under root 9x square minus 5 upon 3x minus under root 9x square minus 5 equal to 5. Okay, how can we proceed in this sum? Yes, anybody?
Sir, in this also we can use componendo and dividendo.
Absolutely correct. But 1 minute, just a minute. Enosh. Enosh,
Yes, sir.
are you hearing me? Beta, how can we apply componendo and dividendo in this? Can you tell me?
Sir, we
Yeah. Just tell.
can add and subtract the numerator and denominator, sir.
No, how can we proceed? Just tell me few steps. See, on the right hand side, what can you write? 5 as 5 upon 1. Right hand side also in the form of what? Fraction. That is 5 upon 1. Then only you can apply what? Componendo and dividendo. And then proceed. And you will take under root 9x square. Suppose you can take, if you want, under root 9x square minus 5 as what? Any other variable. Suppose p. So you will get 3x plus p upon 3x minus p is equal to 5 upon 1. Then you can proceed with this application of complemento and dividendo. Have you understood better?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 5 can be written as 5 upon 1. Don't forget this. I've given you a hint also. Now, question number 5. If a is equal to 4 root 6 upon root 2 plus root 3, find the value of a plus 2 root 2 upon a minus 2 root 2 plus a plus 2 root 3 upon a minus 2 root 3. This is just the similar case what I've explained to you in the beginning only. I have given you one example like P1. P is equal to 4xy upon x plus y. It is just like that. So anybody can tell me, just 1 minute, who will tell me how can we proceed in this sum, by the way?
So I can tell.
Sir, I
Who
can
is this, by the way?
So
Just a minute.
Lokesh.
Lokesh.
Yes.
Lokesh, you have already shown excellent performance till now. I want to ask from somebody else. Okay?
Sir, I can tell.
Sumit beta, you have already given the response. Okay? Akash, okay. Just tell me. Beta.
So
Akshat,
first we have a upon 2 root 3 equals to 2 root 2 upon root 2 plus root 3. And sir, then
Yes.
we will apply window and dividendo. And sir,
yes.
then we
Now I got. Yes, you can do. Very good. We have to split 4 root 6 as 2 into 2 into root 2 into root 3 and then we can proceed. Okay, for both the terms. Very good. Very good, Akshat. Very nice. Now question number 6. Okay. If P upon A is equal to Q upon B is equal to R upon C, then show that P cube upon A cube plus Q cube upon B cube plus R cube upon C cube is equal to 3PQR upon ABC. You can do this sum by any method, by K method or by using the properties of proportion. Okay. Then question number 7. If A upon B is equal to C upon D is equal to E upon F, then prove that BDF outside the bracket and inside the bracket A plus B upon B plus C plus D upon D plus E plus F upon F whole cube is equal to 27 into A plus B into C plus D into E plus F. Okay, you have to prove this. And in this question, I can recommend that you can make use of K method. Then coming to question number 8 also. If A, B, C, D are in continued proportion. Okay. There. Acha, one minute. Just come to the. Who will tell me what is the meaning of A, B, C, D are in continued proportion? Just now I told you.
Yes, sir, I can tell.
So I can
Yes,
tell.
Abhijit. Arnav. Okay. Sorry, Abhay. Yes, Abhay. What is the meaning?
So A by B equal to B by C equal to C by D.
Absolutely correct. And over here, you can make use of the K method, equate all the terms equal to K, and then you can prove the result. And what you have to prove in this, that A minus B upon C plus A minus C upon B whole square minus D minus B upon C plus D minus C upon B whole square is equal to A minus D whole square upon into 1 upon C square minus 1 upon B square. Okay, make use of the K method in this sum for proving. Then question number 9 is, if A is equal to B plus C upon 2, C is equal to A plus B upon 2, and B is the mean proportional between A and C. Okay, then prove that 1 upon A plus 1 upon C is equal to 2 upon B. It is written mean proportional between A and C. I have forgotten to write the word A. Okay, so just it is understood that it is A. Okay, just know that you should remember. And you have to prove the result 1 upon A plus 1 upon C is equal to 2 upon B. Then question number 10. If A square minus BC upon X is equal to B square minus CA upon Y is equal to C square minus AB upon Z, then you have to prove that A is equal to B is equal to C, or A plus B plus C into X plus Y plus Z equals to AX plus BY plus CZ. Anybody can tell me how can we proceed in this sum? Yes, boys?
Sir, by using the K method.
by using the K method. Okay. Any other idea is coming in your mind? By which other method we can proceed? Yes, anybody? Because these three ratios are equal and they are written in the form of fraction, A upon B is equal to C upon D is equal to E upon F, then anything is coming in your mind?
Write that, so that the sum of antecedents is equal to the sum of consequents.
No, we can write each ratio equal to beta. Yes, you are absolutely right, Vaibhav Tiwari. Okay, that each ratio equal to sum of the antecedent upon sum of the consequent, and then also we can proceed like that. Okay, we can make use of the K method also, and we can make use of this property also, that when any three ratios or two ratios are equal, then each ratio will be equal to sum of their antecedent upon sum of their consequent. Very good. Okay, then coming to question by 11. If a square plus ab plus b square upon c square plus cd plus d square is equal to a square minus ab plus b square upon c square minus cd plus d square, where ABCD is not equal to 0, then prove that A upon B is equal to C upon D, or A upon B is equal to D upon C. You have to prove this. Okay, and then coming to question number 12, it is similar to the previous question. Okay, previous question means question number 3. It is similar to question number 3. So using properties of proportion, solve for x cube plus 3x upon 3x square plus 1 equals to 341 upon 91. Who will tell me how can we proceed in this sum? Who will tell me? Yes, boys. And what is coming in your mind? Lokesh. Yes,
So we
Lokesh.
can use componendo.
We can use not only Acha, Badri Vishal. Beta, you are using only componendo.
Yes, sir. So, sir, all the lower terms will come on the upper side, and
We
then
will make use of the componendo and dividendo, both, on both the sides. Okay. See, I'm giving a hint also in this, like x cube plus 3x. When you will apply componendo and dividendo in the left hand side, numerator plus denominator, that is x cube plus 3x square plus 1. What will it become, by the way? You think? X cube plus 3x square plus 1.
Sir, x plus 1 whole cube.
Absolutely correct. Very good, Akshat Swarup. Okay, very good, Akshat, beta. And similarly, x cube plus 3x minus 3x square minus 1 will become x minus 1 whole cube. Okay, and in the right hand side also 341 plus 91 upon 341 minus 91, and then you can proceed. Okay, so you can make use of componendo and dividendo in this sum, and this is all which I've given you as a part of assignment, and I'm very, very happy that most of the boys, whatever assignment I'm giving, they are submitting the correct answers and showing the very, very good working. But one thing I want to say, that in this duration, what I have seen, some boys, they have spoiled their handwriting. Horrible handwriting, they are doing the work. Okay, so please improve your handwriting also. Working should be clear, but just like you are giving the exam, proceed in that manner. Because whatever type of practice you will do, you will proceed in the similar manner. Okay, so that's all for today. Okay, anybody has any doubt, you can clear. Yes, beta.
Sir, in the examinations, if there is a question that we have to prove according to this, or we have to prove according to this, so we have to do all. We have to do both, or we have to do this.
Both the parts. In case if they have given the condition, you have to do for both the conditions. Okay.
So even if or
Any
is
other-
given.
If or is given. Okay. They will.
Okay,
If they are asking for both the result, that means you have to prove for both the parts. Like in the question by 11, A upon B is equal to C upon D, or A upon B is equal to D upon C. That means you have to prove for both the result. And OR comes only, I told you, in the quadratic equation also. Okay, what was the meaning of OR and AND? Anybody can tell me?
So and means intersection, or means union.
Absolutely correct. Who is this, by the way?
Sir, Lokesh.
Oh, Lokesh, excellent boy. Lokesh is really excellent boy, no doubt in that. Okay, and boys of these two sections, I really love you all. Boys, you are giving very good response. And proceed like this. Definitely, if you keep on working like this, you will get 100%. Okay, and those 100% you will share with me. Okay, so that's all, boys, because I have to conduct another section also. So you all can leave the meeting. In case if anybody has any doubt, you can just clear. Otherwise, leave the meeting just now. Okay, anybody has any doubt, boys? Okay, so nobody has any doubt. So please leave the meeting because I have to conduct another class also with them. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes. Who is this?
Yes, sir. Sir, Animesh.
हाँ अनिमेश बेटा बोलो.
Sir, while doing the assignment in the fair copy, do we need to copy the questions?
No, whatever question, no questions you should write, beta. See,
Yes, sir.
at academic time, beta, just think. That's what I'm saying, because nobody is going to your home or you are not going to the class. So it is your responsibility to do the assignment, okay, as a fair work only. As a fair work only, because remember one thing, this is not class 6, 7, 8 or 9 where the assignment are being checked. You should know, like in subject maths, I always prefer to say that you should know the subject matter. If question is asked from